What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms content here. I'm Shinchi42, and today we have a special guest. So we haven't done a lot of free-to-play into our channel, and we've done a lot of like the big pay-to-wins. So today we actually have a Twitch streamer and also a YouTuber. His channel name is 12-inch PvP-ness. So if you're thinking about some big PPs right there, we got some 12-inch PvP-ness in here. So we're also going to have 12-inch PvP-ness as man, your fucking channel is huge, PP. Huge. So weird. I try to make it funny in the beginning, but it's so awkward to say it, man. All right, so I'm also gonna have your channel on the description below, so make sure, guys, to follow him on his Twitch and YouTube channel as well. Don't forget to do that. And here we go. So we got the Magic the Joker. What's up?
Hey, how are you doing today?
So I'm doing pretty good. So you are a true free-to-play, and we're gonna go over some of the roles of being an F2P.
Yeah, so essentially there are about 7 things that I would consider when you consider the role of free-to-play, whether it's in Home Kingdom or KVK. These are generally going to apply more towards KVK since Home Kingdom is so peaceful generally. I would say the number one thing as a free-to-play player is you have to remember that your kingdom, it's your job to make it better and push forward for it. But at the end of the day, in order to continue playing normally, you have to play for yourself. So, if you're running farm accounts, it's good to have farm accounts for you, and then you can give some also to your kingdom to try and get more rewards. But overall, you're looking to feed yourself by feeding the kingdom. The second thing that I would say is you definitely want 1 to 3 farms so you can play the role of feeding your whales, because even if you're not fighting necessarily, they can remember who you are by you helping them out when the times are tough. If you got an extra 50 million gold there, it probably takes you a couple weeks to gather. However, your whale's gonna remember that, because when his hospitals were full, you were there.
Yeah, I can see you have a resource donation of about 221 million in here, which is pretty decent, I would say.
So that was all gold from when I was in 1576, and then I also had farm accounts that would donate resources.
So how many farm accounts do you have?
So currently I have 2 farm accounts, and I donated everything to my friends in 1576 before I migrated to 1343. And
so now you are in the KVK. So what have been your major roles so far in here?
So in this KVK, I'm significantly higher power than I was in KVK2 with 1576. So I go to every ruins, I go to every altar. Every time that I have AP, I'm trying to chain AP. I'm trying to make my honor go as far as I possibly can, so that not only can I help secure places for my kingdom, but I can also help my alliance hit the top alliance honor ranking. We're currently in hot contest with another person, so I and other low spenders and free-to-play players are, instead of just spending our AP normally, we are using either YSG or Ethelflad to get as many barbs as we can and get hundreds of thousands of honor points for our alliance.
That's pretty good. You're actually not just thinking about yourself, but also you're looking into the bigger picture. And I assume with that, what you've contributed here, right, you're definitely gonna get the highest rewards for all the contributions that you've done. I assume your kingdom values the free-to-play players, right?
Yes. I will also be looking towards an honor skin at the end of KVK.
Nice. So what is your advice for other free-to-play players on, maybe based on your experience? Because for me, I've been playing more of a bigger player role. So for you, if you're gonna give them an advice on battle, where would you direct them on battles?
I would say if you are going to be playing a ruins or an altar battle, you're going to be looking to take Richard, so people don't target you, and you're going to be looking to take any kind of AoE to get as much value as you can. Free-to-play players usually won't have as much tech as anyone else, so making sure they don't hit you by having Richard, and having an AoE to make sure you get more value so you don't take as much losses from counterattack as you are from value in AoE is really important. And if you're in Kingsland, for example, you just want to be hopping in rallies and defending flags. You really don't want to be in the open field because you don't want to be paying for hospital bills. You want to pay for your alliance's hospital bills because your contribution in the open field probably won't be remembered. You know, if you're sending like a couple epics out there to get slaughtered. However, when you're feeding your whales and dying in the flags, they're going to look at the death count at the end of KVK and think, wow, we should give this guy Zig rewards.
That's true, but especially I agree with that one. You know what most people don't think about that if you're really a very low player, like your tech is lower, right? You mentioned most people think that I gotta go fight in the open field battle. Honestly, what you've said, you do more contribution definitely when you are joining the rallies or doing the defense compared to just fighting in the open field battle. One of the thing that I always see with free-to-play is that they always try to fight in the open field and they get wrecked. So I like that advice that you've really given for that one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, obviously an issue with free-to-play players is there are epic commanders that will run in and get slaughtered, but more so than that is just like the tech difference. Because when you run epic commanders in the open field, I personally, as well as everybody in my alliance, sees any kind of epic in the open field and we immediately lock onto it and try our absolute hardest to kill it. Running an epic in the open field is like asking to be attacked. And if you have no tech and are running an epic in the open field, you're just going to get slaughtered.
Exactly. And I see you have a YSG maxed out. That's pretty good for F2P. That's pretty good. A lot of people say that if you're a free-to-play player, you can't max a legendary commander, which is, we just proven them incorrect, right?
Yeah, so it actually took me a long time to expertise my first commander. I got my YSG expertise about day 212, and then I didn't have my Richard 5511 until day 246. So, if you're grinding hard and you're active, you could probably get those times a little bit lower. But overall, you're probably just going to be in rallies and garrisons until that time. Luckily, for most people, until the single march ruins and altars come in KVK3 is going to be significantly after day 246. So even if you're taking like 10 months to finish out your ruins march or your altar march, you can still, you'll have it in time. There's no real rush for that.
Basically, the big takeaway from here is that even if you are a free-to-play player, you can have a maxed out legendary commander. It really just depends on how you're approaching the game, because a lot of them complains a lot that it is not achievable, but as we can see here, it is definitely achievable. And what's your days right now with your VIP? How many days have you been playing?
I've currently been playing for 268 days.
That's actually pretty good. 268 days. How many? So this is your first legendary commander. Do you have one that is really close? Well, this is your second one with 8th of Flip, but the 8th of Flip doesn't count. But do you have another one that is close to being maxed out?
So currently my commanders are, I have my expertise YSG, I have a 5511 or 5511 Richard, and then I have a 551 Alex. I'm either going to take Alex up to expertise or I'm going to take Constantine to 5511 before I do it. But my second expertise is definitely going to be Alex because he's incredible in the open field.
So definitely you have a very good path forward, and you have a direction where you're going into, and you're not just going to be spamming into your other commanders, right? Or your legendary commander. Sorry, you're not going to be spamming your legendary heads onto other commanders. What you're going to be doing is, right, you're just going to be focusing on Alexander, and that is a very good tip giving to our viewers, that you shouldn't be a scatterbrain when you're investing on commanders.
Yeah, it's a real struggle actually, because a lot of people who don't get that information fast enough end up putting their sculptures in random places. I think the biggest offender is probably Julius Caesar, where people will just shoot him up in levels and then stick all their golden sculptures in him, and then later on they'll be like, oh, I probably should have started in YSG.
Yeah, because they think, oh, Julius Caesar is so cool, you know, everybody knows JC. And he's actually, you know, he doesn't really have a good use in the long term of this game. So.
Very true.
So, what about your marches? My question: if you do hypothetically fight in the open field, how many marches do you actually send out?
So currently, I would probably send out 3 marches. I would send out Martel YSG, Richard Sun Tzu, and I would send out Ethelfled Mehmed.
Okay, that's actually pretty good because you don't want to have too spread out, too many marches, and then you'll have the quality of your marches are very weak, right? So what you're doing right now, what I see is that you're having 3 marches, and these are your best quality commanders, you know, and you're not gonna fill up your hospital too quick with that because you have the best commanders you have. Now if you have 5, you'll have 2 weak ones, and those are gonna be the ones that are gonna be 100% filling your hospital more than the 3 ones that you have, even if you are, you know, even if you're not like a T5 tech yet or like highest tech yet, you know. The playing style that what you're doing is actually very smart, having the 3 marches right there.
It's very true. I actually another concern that I have is how much equipment I have to put on. So my Martel is has 4 purples. You know, then I have infantry shoes and I have gatekeeper shield. But my Richard, on the other hand, only has 3 purples, you know, and a white helm, you know. So my third march, my Ethelfled, basically has no gear. And then if I were to do any more marches, they would not only be epics and not only not have max tech, but they would also have little to no gear. And that's a really big concern with the new update that just came out.
It's actually not bad for how much you have crafted already for free to play. Actually pretty good. You must grind the keeps then, don't you?
So what I did before the update is I actually dismantled all my other equipment in preparation for it. And then I saved up 70,000 gems and I max spun Garden of Infinity the last time it came around.
I see. So what is your tip for players on the free-to-play players on gathering all these gems that you use for the Garden of Infinity?
So I think the hands down, when I first expertise YSG, I thought that he was going to be very good for the open field and a great multi-purpose tool. And I thought, you know, me chaining barbarians with him is going to be a secondary effect. But Richard YSG as a barb chaining march is absolutely ludicrously good. I actually ended up winning a full training speed event with just training speeds that I had ended up chaining. So the way I actually got those 70,000 gems was primarily from barb chaining. When I first expertised my YSG, I thought that, you know, he's going to be great in the open field. He is, you know, going to be a garrison comm, and I was going to have all these different uses for him. And I always thought of gem as barb chaining as more of a side bonus of YSG. But what I didn't understand was YSG Richard was such a ridiculous amount of value that in itself, it could be measured in war machines. So when I first expertise YSG at day 212, and then I got my Richard at 246, I started barb chaining immediately. And I actually got enough speeds to win a full event with it, which, you know, gems, legendary sculptures, and the amount of chaining required, I generally actually chain about 1,000 gems worth of barbs every day. And then every single time that I'm sending my gatherers out, since I'm getting all my resources from farms, I'm sending my gatherers out to gem nodes. And, you know, you need a lot of gems to survive in the current climate of Rise of Kingdoms.
That's actually pretty good, man, because like I used to do that too, but I don't think I'm that motivated enough to do all that shit. But that's very good, you know. Like I said, it's playing this game is really, if you're gonna be a low spender or free to play, it's all about how much you're gonna be putting effort into the game, how much you're going to grind, and the way you're playing it. You know, it seems like you're very, you know, very dedicated into the game. So I mean, definitely Richard and YSG is really, those 2 commanders gives you a lot of value, not just in PvP and as well as doing the PvE, as what you've mentioned. So those 2 commanders, right? If you're really a free to play, I think it's one of those. If we're gonna list the top 10 or top 5 commanders that you should have, those two definitely have to be in your arsenal.
For sure. Richard, I don't know about expertising Richard, but Richard 5511 is probably the sweet spot for free to play. And then YSG and then Alex.
See, my mindset is always on expertise, but yeah, you're right. Getting that first skill really maxed out is gonna go a long way already anyway. 5.5, you said 5.511.
Yeah, well, you're getting like 70% ish of his value there for like 200 total sculpts, 10 for expertising or 10 for unlocking him, and 190 for the 5511 session.
Yeah.
And it's like 70% of his power, and then you save the extra 500 sculptures, and you can put it towards Alex, or put some of it towards Constantine or Guan Yu maybe. Because I mean, Richard's great for chaining, and he's great for people not attacking you, but because nobody ever attacks you with Richard, there's no point. I mean, you don't need more damage reduction. I mean, you need some. The 5.5 is important to not go 5.111. But his expertise is just really expensive, and his fourth skill is not good enough.
That's actually a very good point. Honestly, that's a very good advice for all the viewers in here, not just for free to play. Potentially could be the potential big spenders one day, right? You're not really gonna be. So maybe for like our moderate spenders, right? If you're really not trying to invest on Richard, if you just want to use it for barb chaining, you can do that approach. But some people may want to max out Richard. It definitely has some benefit when it comes to the like Lost Canyons or Sunset Canyons. So that's another thing that you can use Richard for. But if you're budgeted with the sculptures, definitely 5511 is a very viable approach. I think that's a very good strategy there. Everybody has their own strategy, so whatever works for you with your approach into the commanders, whatever is going to give you the most value that's the path that you should be really trying to get into. All right, so before we end here, I want to know what is the top 3 things that you can actually provide to our viewers, especially for our free to play players in here, and how they can succeed in Rise of Kingdoms.
So if you're a free to play player, just remember, until you're getting close to max tech, you don't want to be in the open field. You want to be joining rallies and flags. You want to be on the grind for your kingdom, try to get them to that top honor spot. You want to be in every single ruins, every single altar you can make in Light versus Darkness. And third, you want to make sure that in helping your kingdom, you are also helping yourself, because if somebody's spending and buying a bunch of bundles and they mess up their account a little bit, they can end up fixing it.
Yeah.
If you're a free-to-play player and you mess up your account, I'm not saying it's permanent, but it can get pretty close. So play for yourself.
That's a good advice. So don't forget to subscribe to his channel. We'll put on the link on the description. And I got one last question for you.
Sure.
What kind of gang do you relate yourself to?
I would definitely say Infantry gang. I think that's the best free-to-play gang.
That's true. You know what? I'm fine with that one, since at least you didn't say Cavs gang. I think I can live with that. All right. See you next time then.
Bye.